What general advice would you give to students about to study at university?
It's a good question because it's easy to just it's easy to give blanket advice in that sense because I've been through it and say, oh, work
Mm,
hard, don't leave your deadlines to the last minute. Everybody's going to say that,
the
but
typicals.
exactly. But the main thing I would say is to learn how you learn. And I think it's important because not everybody learns the same way. I've been guilty of this, and when I've made my own study hack videos and things like that, of you need to do this form of active recall, or you need to do this form of note taking. At the end of the day, most of this is an N of one experiment. You need to try for yourself and see what works for you. Do the revision method, do the note taking method. Does it work for you? Yes, no. If it doesn't work for you, stop doing it. Stop trying to do it just because some study tuber has told you to do it. Like, do what works for you. So I think that's probably my main bit of advice is experiment with different study techniques, whether that be different forms of revision, different spaces, different times, and find your ideal, optimize. So I think spend your first year doing that because it will really pay off when it comes to cracking down.
What advice would you give to students wanting to study at Keele University?
Come with an open mind, especially in the life sciences area, which I'll probably speak more about. The staff are absolutely wonderful, and I can't really fault them at all. What advice I'd give you to study there is try and explore as much as you can. So explore different subject areas within your subject, ones that you wouldn't expect you'd like. So a lot of things that I'd often tell people who are quite focused on human biology, for example, is like, try plants. You might like plants, you might not. But if you don't know, you'll never. If you don't try, you'll never know. So
No.
try and explore as much. And if you find it isn't for you, stop. It's no one's forcing you to carry things on. So I thought one of the good things about Keele is the further along you go in your degree path, and I'm not certain if it's still like this, so check the module catalogs as well. But the further along you went, the more choice you got in what you did. So when it came to my final year, I had complete freedom to choose what I did, bar one or two modules. And it was great because then even in the individual modules, I had freedom to choose, okay, I wanted to do these topics there's an advances in medicine module that I did. And I could choose, I'm going to focus on these advances and completely ignore these ones because I don't care about them. So try and figure out what it is you like before you get to that point. And if you don't worry, because there'll be plenty of options for you to pick and choose and see what it is you do like.
And finally, what advice would you give to students when they study your course at university?
As in, who wanted to study biochemistry?
Biochemistry.
So, and I assume this is for people who are
sixth form, wanted to next. They're about to maybe study your course, maybe even at your university. What would you give them a bit of advice for just about getting there, or pre-reading, getting ready, anything to kind of get them a little booster?
So my advice would be is biomed and biochem doesn't necessarily have to lead to medicine. So read as widely as you want when it comes to that, and try and read about some of the biotechnology innovations that are going on. A lot of the books and articles you might see are quite focused around medicine, but there's so many other innovations happening in the space. So if you're really interested in, agriculture as well, so making cool proteins to feed the world, I'm pretty sure you learn about golden rice in A level. I remember doing that actually. But if you are interested, if these interested you, go ahead and read about it. Like, there's so many different avenues that you can take once you get there. So when it comes to reading and trying to build up or try and understand more about the course, don't just focus on the medicine human aspect. This biology and biotechnology in general is so vast. There are different approaches you can take to that. Of course, this comes with the caveat that some places are medical focused. So be mindful when you're wanting to choose to study biochemistry, you're not choosing somewhere who's teaching clinical biochemistry, and then you've gone and talked about plants in your personal statement. So be mindful of that. But just be aware that biochemistry involves so much more than just medicine.